Hey, how you doing? How you doing? My name's Kenny, you know what I mean? Or Kenneth Smith the third, and we have the speech presentation. Question for you, the audience, aka my teacher. What would you do if you had $50 million given or gifted to you? I mean, think about it. Think. I'd want a car, a house, maybe even some stock in the S&P 500, just because it's $50 million. I mean, it's so much money. Of course, retire my parents. Of course. Of course. And then to summarize everything, my topic is athletes and pay. It is related to my major, which is in education. In turn, it is related to my career plan, which is to be a teacher. And I like sports and money, so that's what also helped me pick it. My thesis is athletes are overpaid because their salaries are driven by entertainment demand along with celebrity status instead of societal value. This system creates an unfair pay gap. Fun fact, my thesis did change. It used to be more prioritized around essential workers and athletes, but it was getting hard to find material on that specific argument. So, background information. Some think that the pay gap is justified. Pro sports, they make bank. Currency is influenced by entertainment value, media exposure, and corporate profit. And this is worldwide, not just national. So there's more to it than the NBA, NFL, NHL. You know what I mean? The earth should be flat, but we ain't gonna talk about that. You know what I mean? Gosh, I'm trolling. Claims: essential workers versus athletes, entertainment demand, and skill scarcity and years of training are my three claims. My evidence for essential workers versus athletes is quote unquote the starting salary in the NHL is 750,000, nearly doubling the president's 400,000 annual salary. And then profit and attention being more valued than societal value. And this is a reflection of the system Erica and Lawrence. Yep, that's their little. It's my paraphrasing for what they said. And there's Trumpy poo. Evidence, entertainment demand. Education and medical professionals might not see their annual earnings come close to multi-million-dollar contracts that athletes sign after a stellar season or two. That's all it takes. Teams invest in heavily in star athletes because they draw massive audiences through commercials, ads, and sponsorships, creating a feedback loop where attention equals revenue equals higher salaries. Woo! And then evidence, scarcity, skill scarcity and years of training. Essential fields require resilience. Athletes' pay reflects elite skill, but it does not equal fairness. So, you know, counter argument is summarize it: sales taxes generated large revenues for teams. And there's everyone's best friend, the IRS. Counter arguments evidence: market demand. Aside from federal, state, and city taxes and pension, which everyone pays, players also need to pay agent fees, $10,000 union due, and etc. Physical injury can leave professional athletes handicapped or disabled for the rest of their lives. Think about it. No arm, no leg. And then my rebuttal is essential workers face comparable risks. You can do the same thing as a firefighter, have that happen to you. You could have PTSD just like an athlete, like being an EMS worker. And then that's basically the evidence right there of what I just said. And then conclusion, I understand both sides, but at the end of the day, athlete salaries are high because our culture values entertainment over essential labor. And then post game Q&A. What were 2 to 3 interesting things I learned from my sources? Finding out athletes can learn 50 times, not earn, but learn, but earn both 50 times that of the US president. That's crazy, you know. And then realizing how much influence and power athletes hold. How society values entertainment pieces and essential pieces of the puzzle. Mm, 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 mm. Low. What additional background knowledge was needed to help you understand certain source material? Understanding what was an essential worker, watching sports itself, knowing people personally in the field of work, working in the field and observing in commercials. Everyone's favorite team, the Dallas Cowboys. Ladies and gentlemen, why were these items so interesting? Were they shocking, disturbing, or reassuring in any way? I say disturbing and shocking. Levels of appreciation are not high enough, and levels are in excess for athletes. That's just my opinion. What are 3 to 4 major research questions, and how difficult was it to find answers? I would say my cortisol levels remained medium. Not too shabby, I would say. Not too shabby. And there we go. That's it. Thank you for watching.